What are the do's and don'ts when it comes to talking to the police? This is Christina Williams with Just Criminal Law.
And David Mann, legal storytelling specialist. Okay, we've talked about this a few times. I'm kind of interested in what you're supposed to do, but I think I know what you're not supposed to do. And let me see if I can remember this. So people, when they're approached by the police, they have certain instincts and they might think, I want to talk because, I'll just explain myself and that they're going to understand. And I'll stay nice and calm. I'll be honest. And, if I don't talk, I'm just going to look guilty anyway. So then they go ahead and talk. Now, what's wrong with all of that?
Sure. So in these situations when the police start in contact with someone, what the person doesn't know is what does the police already know? And generally, they have other witnesses, other evidence, and they're just asking you to fill in the gaps. And you think, well, I should say something, or they may take the fact that I want an attorney as maybe I'm guilty of something. And so they have this need to make a statement, and then the officers only cherry pick bits and pieces to fill in the gaps in their investigation. And maybe they tell a little lie, a little white lie that they think is innocuous, that, say, for example, makes them look a little bit better. Now, this can come back to haunt them in trial because these little inconsistencies can attack their credibility. And so, really, the police know what they're doing and they know what information they still need. And, agreeing to talk to them, you have no idea how you're backing yourself into a corner. And more times than not, you're going to make the situation worse.
Yeah, I mean, it's probably a genuine instinct at first. Hey, I want to share, I want to be honest. And then it turns out probably when the police start really asking questions that it gets further and further away from the truth, maybe by accident, and you end up winding yourself in knots.
Yes, and it's very much with little indiscrepancies sometimes that turn out to be a big deal at trial.
Yeah. So what would be a situation where someone maybe should talk to the police? Is there ever a situation like that?
In my experience, I have on occasion had clients talk to police. Now, it's only with an agreement to reduce their charge. Say they're a witness to a very serious crime, and maybe they're even charged as a co-defendant, or they could be charged with a crime. Now, the police may need their testimony, and they have to then weigh how important is the prosecution of this person versus the value of the testimony they will provide for a bigger case or a more serious crime. And so I'll have clients that we agree to talk to the police, but it's only with a written agreement stating that they have this plea deal or that they agree that none of the statements that they make will result in charges. So it's always to get a better deal or to prevent themselves from being charged. And it's a controlled interview where me as the attorney, I know the scope of what's going to be discussed, generally speaking. And if it goes outside the scope, anything that the client says that may get them in more trouble, the prosecutors agreed not to prosecute them for. So it's a very controlled, calculated environment.
Yeah, so this is not happening by the side of the road or down at the police station all by themselves. This sounds more like, just to compare it to the movies, you occasionally see a scene where the defendant has the lawyer sitting right there and is saying, oh, don't say that. Oh, yep, you can say that. You can answer. That's the situation you're talking about, right?
Right, and it doesn't have to be that controlled of an interview, but whatever is said, and you do want that your client's testimony to be helpful and truthful so that that the prosecutor or the police get the benefit of the bargain, but the outcome, where it's headed, that you've protected them.
All right. So once again, good case made for have a lawyer if you have troubles. How do they get in touch with you?
Sure, we'll include a link in the description where they can call, text, or chat with a member of my team anytime, day or night. Here at Just Criminal Law, we know you only get one shot at justice, so make yours count.